What's going on, YouTube? This is Mag Dog TV coming back with another one. So it looks like we have the PFF grades from that week 2 game against the Nebraska Cornhuskers. We have to do a lot of things and make a lot of changes very rapidly for the upcoming rivalry game against Colorado State. We're going to talk about these grades, so let's get to it.
Every other city I go, from Colorado to the Bayou I go. Y'all know the motto, get a info I know. My people know it's Mad Dog TV, let's go. To every other city I go. From Colorado to the Bayou I go. Y'all know the motto, get a info I.
So the Colorado Buffaloes offensive line was dominated by the Nebraska Cornhuskers. Let's just keep it a buck. Quarterback Shedeur Sanders and backup Ryan Staub were sacked a combined 6 times in a disappointing 28-10 loss on Saturday evening. While Colorado appeared to have made some strides this offseason as far as protecting the quarterback, it still looked like the same offensive line from last season. PFF grades every player on every play on a 0 to 100 scale, with 60 being average. Players start with a 60 grade every game, and their score changes following each snap. Here's how the Colorado Buffaloes offensive line absolutely looked. Let's start with right tackle Tyler Brown. Tyler Brown had a 34.4. He allowed 9 pressures allowed. That's absolutely horrible. Very, very disappointing in my guy Tyler Brown. This is not how you represent Mississippi. I expect Tyler Brown to give us a little bit more when we start speaking about that PFF grade. That's just my personal opinion. Next up we have is center Hank Zelinskas. He had a PFF grade of 47.0. He allowed 3 pressures. Not as bad as Tyler Brown. I mean, Tyler Brown allowed 9, but 3, that's a little bit okay, but we still expect better. You want to be great. That's just what it is, but it's not as bad as you would think. Next up, we have his 5-star offensive lineman, Jordan Seaton, left tackle. He had a 51.9 pass blocking grade. He allowed 7 pressures. This is absolutely horrible. You don't expect this from your 1-star, 5-star, your number 1 ranked offensive lineman, commit to come in and allow this type of performance. He needs to get it together. That's just what it is. Next up, we have his left guard, Justin Mayers, who was one of the big-time transfers we was very excited for. He had a 66.5. He only allowed 3 pressures allowed. Not as bad as Tyler Brown and Jordan Seaton. Next up we have is right guard Khalil Benson. Khalil Benson only allowed 1 pressure. He had a 69.3 pass blocking grade. He was the best of all the offensive linemen according to the pass blocking grade. He only allowed 1 pressure. But I don't know how, because I watched this football game. This is why I say, it's very important for a person to watch the game rather than to go off of what you read, because Khalil Benson still gave up a lot of sacks. I sat there and watched that football game. How did he only get a 69.3? I don't know, but it is what it is. According to the PFF, Colorado ended up with 2 linemen graded slightly above average, 3 below average. The 2 guards was Justin Mayers and Khalil Benson, allowed the fewest pressures, which aligns with their play at their former schools. Most of the pressures came from Tyler Brown, Jordan Seaton, allowed too much heat from Nebraska outside rushers. Seaton looked like a freshman for the first time this season, and Brown struggled in space. The experiment to play Brown at right tackle looked better last week when he was graded a 77.2. So they may want to kind of move Tyler Brown to that right tackle position, and maybe he can do a lot better. Hank looked overmatched by the size and physical of Nebraska's interior D-line. It's probably too early to make a change there, because those 2 interior defensive linemen, man, are NFL caliber defensive tackles. So I'm not going to sit there and I'm not going to really sit there and bash any of these linemen, because Nebraska's front 4 is definitely great. But when we have high expectations for this football team and we have a quarterback like Shedeur Sanders, you want to make sure you protect him. That's the only way we're going to win football games. So I don't know if we need to run the football more, run screens more. run quick outs more, bubble screens. We need to do something to get the ball out of Shedeur Sanders' hands because this is not tolerated, man. This can't be tolerated, and it's only going to get better. Nebraska was a rivalry game, and now we have another rivalry game back to back with Colorado State, and they definitely is not going to take any slack up off us. You know what I'm saying? We already know Jay Norvell is going to talk his ish this week. You guys know Henry Blackburn put Travis Hunter out the game last year. I mean, they did get back together and made everything better, but these guys definitely going to come down, and we're going to have to go to Colorado State, but those guys definitely going to test us out, and I feel like this is how we can make our statement, is to apply pressure, do what Nebraska did to us, to Colorado State. We need to make a statement in this game, one game at a time. We're 0-0 right now. Let's get out here and win this game against Colorado State. Let's go 1-0, and then we'll worry about the next game as far as Baylor in the future. One game at a time should be the talk in the Colorado Buffaloes locker room. Drop a comment, let me know how you guys feel. And if you guys like the video, definitely subscribe to the channel.